Welcome to the From Concealment Podcast, the show for firearm enthusiasts who like to shoot, train, carry, and compete. Get ready for some shooting insight, firearm and accessory reviews, and of course, insight on concealed carry. And now, broadcasting from behind enemy lines in the From Concealment studio, it's Pete Mitchell and Dan Sams.
Hey, Freedom Nation, this is Pete Mitchell.
And I'm Dan Sams.
And you are listening to the From Concealment Podcast, also known as the Tinfoil Hat Podcast, our subtitle. This week's episode is being brought to you by Fast OC, which is closed down like the rest of the world right now. But when they open back up, let me tell you, they're a great place to go to get some training. I enjoy their handgun challenges all the time. I actually meant to reach out to Lance and tell him, hey, you should start doing some online reloading classes because we got nothing else to do. We're all stuck at home right now. But so if you listen to this, Lance, before I reach out to you, online reloading classes. Just going to throw that out there as a hint to
buddy.
You. But so anyway, Dan, how you been?
You know what? I'm actually doing pretty well for being in the middle of an apocalypse. I'm enjoying time.
How's your toilet paper supply? Let's get to the heart of it. How's your toilet paper supply?
Well, I have I've got all that I need. Plus I have leaves, and I'm sure there's a few heretical books I could pull off and use when needed.
See, all we got is poison ivy for leaves, so it doesn't make for good toilet paper.
Hopefully your status neighbors will not know the difference.
There you go.
That's right. But no, we're doing well, man. We're getting projects done. I hate what all this is doing to the economy. I hate that people are sick, but we're making the most of the time, and the family time has been really good. I built a loft for my kids in the garage. It's like a little clubhouse, playhouse. It's good times, man. Really good. How about you, man? You holding up?
It's kind of funny because I work at home. So my life hasn't changed that much other than I'm a massive introvert. So as I've been telling everyone, look, I've been training for this my whole life. I'm good. Here's the problem for me. And Jamie will tell you this, my wife. The second they said we couldn't go out, I'm like, get out of my way. I'm going out. I can't stand being told what to do. I don't even like people. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to the store. I'm going to go shop. I'm going to go, and I'm like, whatever. I just got to go out because it drives me up the wall. And by the way, guys, if our audio isn't as good today, we do apologize for that. Zoom, which is how we record, is totally slammed with the world jumping on Zoom. And so it hasn't been as good for me lately with several of my webinars and stuff just because everybody is jumping on Zoom right now. So bear with us.
Yeah. Same here. Plus just the bandwidth of the internet. Everybody is on it.
Everybody is streaming Tiger King right now off of Netflix.
Oh my gosh.
Did you watch it?
I started watching that. I've watched 3 episodes, man. My wife looks at me after the first 2 episodes.
It gets better.
So we're... Oh my goodness. We start watching it because Christy's like, well, I want to read whatever. So watch one of your dumb things, which that means whatever I'm about to watch, she's going to put down her book and watch with me. So I started up and she looks at me and she's like, I lose respect for you when you watch stuff like this. And then 5 seconds later, I see her close the book and she's totally dialed in with me. It was awesome. So yeah, it's crazy, man. It is. The thing is, I know people like this. If you've lived in if you've ever even been near a trailer park, you know people exactly like these people on that show. And it's awesome. And at the same time, I'm like, this makes me sad for the state of the world, but it's like a train wreck, man. I can't look away.
Dude, have you gotten to the episode yet? Because I don't remember what episode it is where they talk about Carol's first husband or her ex-husband.
It's her second husband that's missing.
Yes.
She clearly had him killed.
Totally,
it's so
right?
Clear.
Totally. The more I watch it, I'm like, that woman is out of her mind. That dude is just as crazy. And then you got the guy who was doing the reality show, and he's like, I am sitting on $1 million with this thing. This is my retirement.
Oh my goodness. Have
Yeah.
you seen the meme? Have you seen the meme where it's president and one of his staffers are leaning over and it says like, sir, the country is going crazy. And he's
Yes.
like, release the Tiger documentary.
Yes.
So good. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. So
it gets better.
that.
All I can tell you is it gets better. Like even Jamie, every time she'd walk in the room, she'd be like, "Oh, you watching this again? Okay, I'm just going to sit here." And like, because it's so crazy, dude. They're so out of their mind.
Yeah.
What's even funnier is when you find out, I can't ruin it for you. But let me just say, I don't know what it is with these freaking tiger people, but all of them have harems. I don't know how they're getting their harems. And the dude, the Tiger King, his two husbands are straight. They're just meth heads, and he's got the access to the meth. And it's like, oh my gosh.
I know. Oh, it's insane. Well, and they're interviewing the one guy with his shirt off and he's missing teeth. And I'm like, man, this is sad.
He's straight, which is the funniest part. He leaves him for a woman like who was working the front desk or something. Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
That's amazing. Oh, the world is a mess, man.
Wait till he runs for president and for governor. I kid you not.
Have you
his campaign manager? His campaign manager is a libertarian. And the campaign manager goes, I don't think he knew anything about politics, so our whole platform is just my platform. He's like, I don't like government. I don't like this. And that was the platform. It was awesome.
That is awesome. I remember, I think it's his campaign video where he's like, tigers, done some drugs, had some kinky sex. So somebody's like, when I come out of quarantine, and it just plays that quote. Oh, it's awesome.
Whatever that chick's name was, there's a great meme. It's the Louder with Crowder dude, right, where he's sitting at the table and it says "Change my mind," right? And it says it's his. They overlaid his face, and he goes, Carol Burquest or whatever her name is killed her husband, changed my mind. I'm just like, dude, it's so funny. It's funny.
The memes. This is a meme gold. We are in the golden age of memes right now, brother. And like, we just need to soak it in, make the most of it, because there's just so much good stuff.
The end of the world is coming, and we are memeing the whole way down.
Yes, that is. Hey, as we should.
Hey.
Oh man, all the Boogaloo side quest memes that now are bringing in the like Tiger King. Or what's really fun when people are like watching all this stuff on the news, and then people are like, "Wait a minute, I could have owned a tiger for $2,000 this whole time." Even I was like, "Well, hey, if I didn't own that, like, forget having a guard dog."
Oh, dude. Tell me about it, right? Yeah, so that's been one of the good things with the old Netflix has been like releasing all kinds of stuff because they're like, oh yeah, this is our time to shine, and like everyone will be proud that they're on Netflix, and they're taking advantage.
Can you imagine? I'm serious about this. We're already seeing a little bit of an uptick in crime. It's not crazy, but a little bit, right? Can you imagine if all this was going down and there was not access to entertainment? Right? Because right now, the type of people that we're watching on Tiger King, and that we're like, that person's crazy. Those people are at home smoking some crystal and watching Netflix, right? And that is saving lives. So I think we need, when this is over.
What happens when they run out of crystal? That's the problem. Like, the border's being shut down. Do you know what's going to happen? Like, the crime rate's going to go through the roof because drug access is going to go way down. Street prices are going to go up. I mean, crime is going to go off the chain with this whole thing.
Yeah, we're seeing little bits of it, but right now people are being entertained enough, man. But if we had a huge issue with internet statewide, right? We're in trouble because people's forms of entertainment are lost. If electricity went out, like we're dealing with some, like the fallout could be negative, or as you mentioned, like drug access. Yeah, I can't believe I almost just said, hopefully the drug smugglers are good enough to get it across the border through other means. That almost came out of my mouth.
Well, they do have their tunnels. They do have their tunnels. I mean, you got to think about it. Like cartels right now, this could be their golden age. I mean, who knows? Right? Yeah. With prices going up, and if they've got the tunnel that goes under the border, they could be like, all right, this is how we make our millions in a day.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what they're going to start doing? They're going to start smuggling in hospital masks and Purell. I have a friend who used to be a drug dealer before he came to Christ. And he's like, hey, man, I got the recipe for making Purell, man. He's on it. He's like, we're slanging Purell right now. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so proud of you. The free market provides, man. Free market
I know. It's great. I told my family, I'm like, yeah, dude, I got all those N95 masks. They're like, how many do you have? I go, a box of them. They go, how many's in a box? I go, well, there's 50, but I'm sure I used one. So there's 49 left. They're like, you could sell those for $10 a piece. And I'm like, that's 490 bones. I don't know. Maybe I need to start selling my N95 masks.
You could get yourself another.
Maybe I could trade it. Maybe I could trade it with Chase and say, hey, look, forget about my mortgage payment. I'll give you 49 N45 masks or 95 masks.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't know.
I think that's worth the try, man. I'd think about selling something. Trading, bartering is what it's all about.
In all honesty, though, I do personally believe America will not be the same after this. Like, it won't be socially. I mean, that's a given. It's going to take people, even after we're able to actually not social distance. It's going to take people a long time to mentally get over that they can do it. And me being an introvert, I'm totally cool with that. Like, don't hug me, don't shake my hand. You know, if we don't have to do a fist bump, I'm all right with that. But I was that way before all of this, so I'm just glad the rest of the world's kind of catching up with me. But I'm looking at it from, for those of you who don't know, my background is as a financial planner. I ran an investment advisory firm basically for 16 years. That's what I did. And so I'm looking at this thing going, okay, first of all, we are so far beyond entering into a recession. We are without a doubt going to have to enter into a depression, a full-blown depression. And the question is, how many years will that depression last? Typically, what the government does in a depression is they go to war with somebody. And because that's their solution to everything. Let's go to war. Let's go pick a fight. And I'm like, man, who they want to pick a fight with is China, but China controls all of our antibiotics. So you go to war with them, we are totally screwed as a nation. Not to mention, I mean, I just don't think we have the stomach for it anymore. We've been at war for so long as a nation. It's kind of like, why are we doing this? Why do we keep doing this? But realistically, man, I'm looking at this going, okay, first of all, a $2 trillion stimulus package? Are you freaking kidding me? And everyone's like, where's my check? Well, first of all, I won't get a check. I don't qualify. So, and I'm a guy who's been hit totally by this, right? Like, my business, gone. And it's like, I don't get it. Why? Because in 2018, I made over the threshold. So everyone's like, oh, you made plenty of money. Well, that was 2018. It's 2 years since then. I mean, come on, man. This is not cool.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's my own money you stole from me back in 2018 that you're going to turn around and give me.
I know. Now. Yeah. Yeah. How many thousands of dollars they've taken from us in taxes, and then they're going to turn around and give us less than a month's expenses, right? And they're going to act like that's going to fix something.
Yeah.
By the way, all their little side project stuff that goes various corporations and whatever and backroom deals, they're getting so much more than us.
Yeah.
Which just pisses me off, man. When I think about the bank bailouts, right? And people pretend, I'm like, that's just corporate socialism. And I'm like, man, I don't get a bailout if I get into a situation where I can't make a bill, I'm just screwed. Right. Why is it that the bank that holds my debt gets a bailout that I'm paying for?
Right.
I'm like, I feel like for every bit of bailout we give to them, I need an equal amount. Like, all right, if Chase gets $1,000, then I'm like, all right, I want all of my credit card debt waived, and I want something spent towards my mortgage. Done. Like why don't the American people get that?
Right.
And so when people start talking about blah, 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 socialism, I'm like, yeah, socialism sucks. And it sucks when you do it to everybody. And it also sucks when you're doing it for a corporation, man. It's still socialism. And unfortunately, that's the problem, is that the Republicans can't seem to identify the socialism in their own eye.
Dude, the Republicans are just as big a socialists as the Democrats.
Yeah.
I mean, for them to even claim, we're the fiscally conservative party, shut up, dude. So not conservative.
Stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the thing about somebody made the quote, I forget who gave us the quote, but they said, the fact that Republicans and Democrats are spending all this time about how much of your own money to give back to you, and that it's taken them this long and they're trying to figure it all out, and most of it's not going to you anyway, that should tell you they don't deserve to manage one penny of it.
Right.
And that kind of talk is what's going to get me on the watch list. I got to be careful.
It's true though. And I mean, I look at it and I'm like, okay, fiscally, we're screwed as a nation. I was reading an article earlier this morning, and another financial advisor, though he doesn't do it for profit, he gets written up in Forbes all the time because he is just wicked smart, but he doesn't manage anyone else's money, just his own. And he was basically he goes, look, right now with gas prices or technically oil prices being as low as they are, which last time I looked, it was like $23 a barrel. I don't know what it is today. I mean, which is freaking insane low, which here in California, we still over $3 a gallon because, we got taxes. And then they're trying to blame it on, it's the gas companies gouging. No,
whatever. No,
it's you, Gavin Newsom, putting in all this crazy crap that we got to have our own special blend. So we're environmentally better, I guess, whatever, all this crap.
Well, the other thing is nobody's gouging right now. There's hardly anybody can go anywhere. There's not a demand for gas. So price gouging happens when there's a demand. There's not a demand. Nobody is trying to gouge gas. Sometimes I just want to I buy copies of the Bible that I give to people every now and then, right? Which is, that's really important. That's the most important message you can give. I'd like to get Thomas Sowell's Basic Economics and hand that out also to people that I'm like, you don't understand economics, huh? All right, here is Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell, and here's the Bible to save your soul, and then here's Basic Economics to save the economy.
Well, here's the question on that. Is that in the public domain yet? When was it written?
I don't think it's quite there. Thomas Sowell's still alive. I don't know when he wrote that one.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously though, check out Thomas Sowell because he's the man. He also wrote. Have you read Thomas Sowell?
I've read enough of the memes on him that I feel like I know him.
Yes. Yeah. So his book, I think it's called Black Rednecks and White Liberals, is incredible. Really? Basic Economics is the best one, but Black, because he gets into how certain stereotypes have come out and how what we think is associated with this people group actually came from this one over here, but then how we try to fix it actually messes it up for the person we're supposed to be helping. And he kind of just gets back to free market economics is the best thing for anyone, especially for quote unquote oppressed people groups. Great book. It also helps that he's a Black dude. Honest truth. Right. People will say, blah, 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 white guys and your economics. And I'm like, man, I understand. Thomas Sowell is an African-American man. And so that shouldn't matter. But if that's an issue for you, please listen to this man. He is brilliant, man. Anyway, so can I share something that's going on with all of this that I think is...
Obviously, yes.
I think it's worth drawing some clarity on. I think yesterday, a pastor, and I use the term loosely because I know of this guy. He's not a good dude. But Rodney Howard-Browne in Florida, I want to say he's in Tampa, he runs a pretty big mega church down there, still had a service on Sunday, and everybody cramped in. We're not talking about the big church where everybody's spread out, crammed in. People are getting sick. And he got arrested for, violating the stay-at-home order and whatever. Now, what I'd love to talk through, because I feel like there continues to be misunderstanding about this. first of all, that dude's a heretic anyway. He's a terrible theologian. Please don't listen to anything he teaches. He does not teach scripture. However, and I think it's foolish to have a public meeting like that where we're exposing that many people. It is basic love thy neighbor wisdom to not go out and spread the virus. Like, no problem. Like, I out of my own integrity and personal responsibility as a follower of Christ, I know that keeping my neighbor from getting sick is a good thing. So I'm staying at home. However, there is absolutely no reason constitutionally that the government gets to tell anybody, including a church, that they're not allowed to have a meeting. And so I've been trying to kind of sit down and say, listen, like, stay at home. Please, if you're a pastor, please don't schedule public meetings right now like that. Like, please be smart. But I will immediately turn around, and when somebody says, yeah, there's a law on this, you need to obey the law, I'm like, no, I don't have to obey that law. Like, that is not within their frame of authority to tell any group of people that they cannot peaceably assemble. And so I'm having this difficulty where I'm like, please don't have a public meeting. But then I'm also like, please don't tell people that they're not allowed to have public meetings or they'll get arrested. And I'm struggling that there can't seem to be clarity on this. I can say, yeah, you shouldn't meet, but I can say, but the reason for that needs to be because you need to not harm your neighbor, not because the government gets to tell you that. And the fact that they know that they can get away with it now and they can tank their economy, and which really we're getting to a place where I'm like, I'm afraid of what's happening during the killing of the economy right now more than anything. We know that there are kids going hungry because their parents are drug addicts. Drugs are on the rise. Food is being spent on drugs, so kids don't go to the public school where they get free meals. There are kids starving at home right now, right?
Domestic abuse is up dramatically right now.
Domestic abuse is up dramatically.
Suicides are up. Everything's up.
Right. So everything is up. And then you also have just the issue of economically, like, this is ruining people. Like, and so then I'm like, so what the physical result of this is now, what we're sure is happening and going to happen now, I would argue is probably worse than if we'd all just kept on going on our lives and maybe been smart and said, you know what, let's, CDC makes some recommendations, health officials make some recommendations and say, guys, please think about staying home, think about doing this. If you go out, you're doing so at your own risk and maybe at someone else's risk. So wash your hands, stay 6, like all the recommendations, but let the free market deal with it. Instead, we've sent kids home where they're going to get abused by abusive parents, where they're not going to get food. People are losing everything. They're losing their retirement. They're losing their jobs. And guess what? They're still going to have to pay their bills. And that $1,200 check is not going to help that much. And so now I'm in a place where I'm like, this is so much more complicated than any government can fix. And that's why we need to let the free market handle stuff like this. And it's frustrating me, man. And so then I got people that are like, people are getting sick. How can you say not to obey the government? I'm like, well, what I'm saying is do it for reasons other than that the government told you so. Because if the reason is the government told you so, then what's going to happen when they tell you to load your neighbor onto a train? Like, what are they going to do when they tell you to turn in your neighbor for whatever, which, by the way, they've got narc lines right now to call in when people are walking further from their house than they're supposed to. I'm like, can you not see? This is the freaking Gestapo style, right? Like, this is what we are supposed to be completely against. And again, I'm all for be smart, stay at home if you need to. That's totally cool. But please don't narc your neighbors. Please don't be a freaking communist or a freaking fascist over all that's going on. Have a reason for doing something other than that the freaking government told you to. And if that's your reason, then you are not a good person. And that stuff's just pissing me off. Oh my gosh.
There was a great Facebook post, a meme that someone cut out. Someone had posted on their Facebook, hey, does anybody know the number that we get? This is in LA. Does anybody know the number that we can call to report a business that's still open? And someone wrote in the comments, 1-800-GO-F-YOURSELF, only they spelled everything out. And I was like, personally, I was like, yeah, dude, seriously, we're a nation of snitchers? Like, that's what we've turned to? I'm going to go snitch on my neighbor who can't survive unless he's working? Like, Are you kidding me?
Well, and all the people who are talking like that are the people who 3 weeks ago were like, we got to help the poor. We've got to help the oppressed and blah, 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 blah. And right now they're the ones that are like, the guy who made $25,000 last year as a waiter now is trying to go out and get some other work, and I'm going to call and make sure he can't work. I'm like, you don't care about the poor. Don't pretend like you care about people in need. Oh my gosh, it's nuts.
We are so screwed as a nation. Like fiscally, I don't know that in my lifetime we will ever be able to recover from the damage that's being done. My buddy Robert was saying about the whole oil thing. He goes, this is going to crush all American production. It will stop. And I kind of get it, right? You got oil so cheap, and then the fact that no one's actually driving anywhere because we can't go anywhere. The government keeps putting it out, which I think those of us here in California, we knew it wasn't going to be 2 weeks, right? We're like, that's crap. Yeah. And that's why literally, like, I kid you not, yesterday we're at Target because our Target has a grocery store, so they're still open. Mm-hmm. Every single bike was sold out. Every single one. Because what else are you going to do? You might as well go bike around your neighborhood. There's nothing else you could do. It has reached that point where it's like every kettlebell is sold out because you can't go to the gym. And like, here's the thing. We were talking about this before we started recording. So those of you who've been following the podcast for a while, you know a little bit of my story. I lost 95 pounds. I was at a stage where my metabolism was so low because after almost 8-9 months of dieting, your metabolism is just going to go low, right? And I couldn't lose the last 30 pounds that I wanted to lose. So I went into what they call a bulking phase. My buddy's a former competitive champion bodybuilder. Dude's got it wired in, right? So he's like, all right, here's what we're going to have you do. I basically went up to, at the height, like 4,400 calories a day, which was like awesome after a year of not being able to eat very much food, right? Now you're like freaking eating all this food, anything. I mean, every good food I could imagine. I just don't eat crap food, right? Don't eat processed food, don't eat sugar, all that stuff. Yeah. And I was packing on the muscle, right? Just packing it on. And I'm like, dude, this is stinking on. I can't believe like the human body there's a science to it. Like they know if you do this, you get this result. So literally, shutdown comes, all the gyms close, and I'm like, all right, so I guess I'm going to start my cut a little bit early. So my metabolism right now is so stinking high from being in this bulking phase that I've literally lost 10 pounds in the quarantine, and I wasn't even trying to lose. Like I didn't start my caloric cut until yesterday, and I'm already down 10 pounds.
Heck yeah, man.
So I'm awesome. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to nail these last 30 pounds. Then we'll be out of quarantine. So come June or July, just depending on when I actually hit my goal, then boom, I'm going to start bulking again and put the muscle back on. And I mean, because, there's nothing else to do. Like we're all stuck at home.
Yep.
I don't know, man. It's a weird time that we're living in right now. Really weird time.
It is a really weird time, dude. So, you know what? One thing I was going to suggest to everybody, I know I've recommended the Tactical Advantage book as a great book to be reading right now. Because, if we think that it's hitting the fan right now, I think we're going to see a lot more on the fan. The fecal matter is going to hit the ceiling turbine, as we say. So if you want to kind of get equipped, there's a whole lot of good videos on YouTube about just basic tactical stuff. We make fun of LARPers all the time. That's totally fine. I LARP, dude. I like when there's nobody in the house.
I have no idea what a LARP is. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, dude, it's live action role play. It's where you like pretend, right? So this is what I'm doing when my kids are downstairs, unloaded for my gun, and while everybody is downstairs, I practice a little bit of clearing. I practice a little bit of like from down position to up. That kind of stuff is great right now. I was watching a video, and I was going to try to bring up the name of the video just so people are making use of their time right now. There's a video from so it's What is the Ultimate Urban Rifle? It's in a How to Win the Fight series that's on YouTube from, what's the name of them again? It's something like TFB TV. Great video, and he gets into just, they did this whole training at Thunder Ranch.
Oh,
where
yes.
They were going, and they're going into like, so they're getting into like what you need to do with a regular fighting weapon. They get into the optimal length for an AR. They talk about like where the perfect compromise is. All kinds of great stuff out there right now. And man, make the most of it. Make sure that you're getting equipped, you're getting trained. There is more than you might imagine that you can do just LARPing in your house, man. Be smart. Make sure everything's clear, totally unloaded, finger off the trigger. But when nobody's around, man, practice like going like what I'm doing. I'm in my bedroom. I'll practice walking from one room to another, clearing the room, being ready, coming from the low position to the at the ready position. Like we're just being smart. Make use of the time. Watch some videos that aren't just here's a cool AR, but here's how you use it well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. A couple of things. I've got a CERT training gun. For those of you who aren't familiar, it's basically they usually have a red slide on it, shoots a laser, and you usually see them in training classes. And so I picked one of those up because they have a Glock 17 version of it. So it's the same holster, same everything, and I can practice with that in the house, not worry about anything. Also picked up, and I've only used it a couple of times, it's a great little magazine that you can put into your regular Glock, and it resets the trigger every time you pull it, so you don't have to reslack the slide in order to practice pulling the trigger all the time. And so I've actually been thinking, hey, you know what? Since we're in this downtime right now, I want to get better using my red dot. I think I'm going to put that slide on, stick that magazine in, and then I can practice around the house. Obviously, like you said, safe. Kids not being anywhere around. Even though I know the gun is empty, I don't triple. Yeah. I don't like it with the kids around, not with a real gun. I'd rather use the CERT then.
That's a good way. Yeah.
Yeah. And just practice around the house. Clearing that. Yeah. Clearing rooms, doing all that type of stuff. And also for me, it's a great time to practice holster draw, using either of those. Like normally I carry my Glock 19. I've been carrying my Glock 43 a lot lately just because I go out for bike rides and it's easier to have a Glock 43 than a Glock 19. That's
much easier. Yeah.
And too, a lot of the stores I go to have these nice signs on the door that say no firearms allowed. So I don't necessarily, first of all, I don't abide by them because here in California, they don't have the force of law, but I also don't want to freak them out and make them kick me out. It's hard enough getting groceries without being that guy who gets kicked out for a gun. So Glock 43 is really good for those situations as well. But I mean, like you said, now is the time to be practicing up. And again, I would even just say, if you get like a CERT, like I would still go on their site. If you guys shoot a Glock, they have a version that is the same grip angle, same size as your M&P, I believe, full size. And I think they have like even like a shield size and either Glock 43 or a Glock 26. I don't remember which. So you can get either the full size. You can't get a 19, I don't believe. But that's okay. I mean, I'm fine practicing with the Glock 17 and again, you can use your in the waistband holster and practice in the house. You get lifting that shirt, grabbing the firearm, presenting properly, and firing it.
Yep. There's great value in that. Or, I mean, you also talk about like, practicing room clearing. There's nothing wrong. People will make fun of this, but grab a Nerf gun for safety. Practice, from ready position to up, walk around. There's no danger in walking around with a Nerf gun in your house. I would actually say have it unloaded too, so you don't shoot anybody in the eye. But like practicing clearing, it's a great way to do it. You're still working some skills. So make them use of the time, you guys. Make sure you're training. Make sure you're staying sharp. It's going to be worth it. Here in California,
our LA County, obviously it's a very anti-gun county. And the sheriff, said, okay, gun stores are not essential businesses. We don't need to run on gun stores. And he closed them all down. Then the next day, he opened them all up. Well, no, they're essential. We need to open them because I think he got threatened with a lawsuit. Then a couple days later, no, I'm closing them down. This is the LA sheriff, as if he somehow has authority as the sheriff to close down anybody. I don't remember him having that authority. I don't remember him all of a sudden having the color of I get to make law, but whatever. And then he did get sued. And so today, gun stores and ranges both get to open up. So I think right now ranges might be open in LA County, whereas they're not in my gun-toting Orange County. So
man,
I got to go up to Orange or LA, except I don't want to burn off any ammo right now. Honestly, I'm I'm preparing for the apocalypse.
I've got a friend who does he does like 2-gun events and things like that. He teaches. He knows what's up. And so we were talking about getting together, and I'm like, well, hey, sounds good, but if it's okay, like I'm only gonna bring my 22 because I'm conserving ammo. He's like, yeah, I think that's fine. Because I'm like, I'll come over and I'll practice with my Walther P22, and I'm like, I have however many thousand rounds of 22. I don't mind burning it up a little bit. Even that, I'm not going to just waste it, but I don't mind burning a little bit of that. But I'm not going to burn any 223 right now. Like zero. I'm saving that stuff, man. The 380 that we have for my wife's, tiny conceal gun, man, we're keeping all that. We're not going to do any practicing with that. Like everything's got to be concealed right or conserved right now. So. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I have a conversion for my Glock. I think it's my Glock 17 that I can convert it to a 22. It's the conversion kit. And so that's a good one that I get to use. I still get to practice on the Glock, but, burn off the 22 ammo, which like you said, I mean, it's so cheap. Like everyone should have like 3,000 to 6,000 rounds of that just because it's like 2 buckets, right? I mean, I got 2 buckets of 22. I'm good. And, but no, at this point, I'm not burning off any of my 5.56, 223, any of my AK rounds, my 300 blackout, I'm definitely not burning off because that one I got to make myself. And I'm like, I don't want to even do that. 9mm. Yeah. My buddy, who's a police officer up in San Francisco area, he texted me last night and he's like, hey, did you stock up on any ammo? And I just wrote back, I can neither confirm nor deny that, officer. We might have been best friends in high school, but you po-po now, baby. I can't tell you everything I got.
That's right.
Yeah. So
it's
crazy.
So got to be careful. Well, so encouraging everybody then, do your training, get your ammo, get whatever you can, man. This is a great time to AR-500 was doing a really great deal on some plate carriers. Go for that, man. Actually, I think a lot of people are putting deals on plate carriers. All of the meme guys are joking about using their $1,200 stimulus check to buy armor. And I don't think everybody's joking. Talk about just being able to buy.
If I got $1,200, I guarantee you I'd be buying armor. I'm not going to get it, so I'm not spending my money on armor. I'm going to take my chances. I wish I'd had it. Like, here's the thing, man. If this had happened a year ago, I was buying typically at a given time 12 to 15,000 rounds at a time because I wanted it to last me basically, 9 months to a year. And I'm like, man, this thing just happened to hit when I'm down to like 2,000 or 3,000 rounds. And now the gun shows are all canceled and I can't go buy another 10,000.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, hey, if you do buy some armor, I'm going to suggest getting level 4 plates.
Oh, really? I was going to do 3+, but you think 4, huh?
So you, first of all, you're fine with 3+. It's going to deal with most anything. But if you just spend that little bit extra to get the level 4, I mean, it stops almost everything. And so probably all you really need is 3+. You probably be fine. But if you can get 4 for another $50, another $100, it's probably going to be worth it, man. So think about it. Whereas right now you can get level 3 from AR-500 with a plate carrier for $100, front and back and a carrier. It's an incredible deal.
Wait, say that again?
Like, dang it.
How much?
Yeah, AR-500 was running a deal for the small, on what you call them, diamond plates. Right. Okay. It was front and back. This is going to sound like too good to be true. It was front plate, back plate, and their low end carrier for those, all for $100 total. That's 2 plates and a carrier for $100 from ar500.com. I don't know if it was still running last week. It was still running. And man, you cannot beat that deal. And honestly, even though it's only level 3, why not go ahead and get it? And then, man, you got a plate carrier and you're ready to rock. And that's still gonna protect you from a good chunk of stuff. I don't think 3 covers like 2, 2, 3, 5.
No, I think, I was looking at it because I was looking at all this last week. And the biggest problem that I had is they were still anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks out from shipping to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is going to be over by then. Do I want to blow my money now? And I'm not going to get it for 3 months, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those.
That's still going to be the issue.
Yeah, especially now. I mean, if they're running deals like that, it's going to keep pushing it out and out and out. Yeah. But 3 was still pretty good. And I mean, you got to consider most of what you're going to run into is going to be handgun rounds coming at you, not going to be rifle most of the time. I mean, if we reach the rifle level, then, it's society has moved beyond what armor piercing or armor is going to do for you. Body armor is going to do for you, right? Because at that point, we're at war with our own government. We're at war with our neighbors. Like, America has changed. It has turned the corner. Yeah. That's if we reach the rifle stage, at least here in California, right? Because, I mean, we're in an urban setting. This is where we are. We're not going to be running around the neighborhood with AKs and ARs and, shooting at people. It's going to be, you're at the Target and all of a sudden a fight breaks out and someone pulls out a knife and you got to defend yourself, kind of a thing. I mean, that's what we're running into here. But I'm concerned. I shared this, I think, on the last episode. I'm up for renewal on my CCW, and they closed down the sheriff's office for renewals. Interesting, right? They didn't close down the sheriff's office. They're still all working, but hey, we're not going to process anyone's CCW renewal? Come on, man. You want to turn me into a felon? Because you really think I'm not going to carry in the apocalypse? You're out of your mind, man.
Yeah.
You're out of your mind.
It's crazy. It's so shady, man. Oh, well, yeah. So, hey, we got to be safe, man. This is you better be carrying. This is a good time to be carrying wherever you're going.
Stay strapped or get clapped.
That's exactly right. Just like Mr. Rogers says. Good stuff. Well, hey, I'll give my plug for Lake Erie Arms. Guys, right now, we're still considered essential. So we are open. We're looking at Wednesday through Sunday. So we normally are taking Monday and Tuesday off. We're cleaning all week long, but we're taking Monday and Tuesday to clean, restock, do everything we can. But we're staying open, and so we're getting in ammo and more guns as fast as possible. We tend to keep a pretty decent stock in there, so come on in, Lake Erie Arms. If you want to check out learms.net, sign up for all of our free subscriptions related to training and whatever else, go for it, learms.net. But hey, no matter what, stay safe, stay strapped, or get clapped.
Cool. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
You've been listening to the From Concealment podcast with Pete Mitchell and Dan Sams. Be sure to tune in next week for more gun talk. Also, check out the From Concealment website for more shooting-related goodness at FromConcealment.com.